Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another review. And there's my neighbor's rooster welcoming you to another video as well. But this is a request for Justin. Thank you so much for that. For anyone who wants to send in a paid request for pretty much any type of video, it could be reaction or commentary, review, randomness, topic, video game, just whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. But this is for Brides of Dracula from 1960, which is the sequel to Horror of Dracula. Now, I will be honest, I'm not a big Hammer guy. I did not grow up with Hammer films. I just didn't. I grew up more with the 80s, 90s type of films. And then I do like the 30s, 40s type of... I like Dracula. Really enjoyed The Invisible Man. I liked Frankenstein. But Hammer, I did like Horror of Dracula. But I've seen Taste the Blood of Dracula, which I thought mine would be called Taste the Blood of Dracula's Ass. And the ones where they're in like present time in the 70s. As I like Christopher Lee, I like Peter Cushing. I do like Horror Express with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Horror Express I did quite enjoy. This one, I didn't hate, but that's only because I liked Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing I liked as an actor, not just because of Star Wars, but because of various other movies. He's always a committed actor. He always pulls it off fairly well. Even in his last film, Biggles, Adventures in Time, Peter Cushing, it was always nice to see him. He seemed like a gentleman. He seemed genuine in his performances. He plays Van Helsing. He has a little bit more physicality to do compared to some of the other Dracula films he did. But like I said, I'm not a big Hammer. I'm not big on the Frankenstein ones. Again, the Dracula, I like Horror of Dracula. Like I said, I love Horror Express. Although I don't know if that's really Hammer. I just mentioned it because, again, those two actors in it. You don't have Christopher Lee in this. That's a big issue. I think that makes it a big step down from Horror of Dracula, because the guy they get for the vampire, I thought was very forgettable. Very forgettable. And you don't have Peter Cushing until like 30 minutes in. Because you have this French teacher. She goes to Transylvania to stay... Ultimately, she stays at this Baroness, her place. Not the Baroness from G.I. Joe. This is a different Baroness. So, her son, this Baron, is chained up by his leg. And this French lady, after hearing the sob story the guy gives, gets the chain off. But then she fucked up because the Baron is a vampire. Kills the Baroness. The lady runs out. And that's where we get to about the 30-minute mark, and Peter Cushing finds her and helps her out. And when Peter Cushing came into the scene, that's when the film picked up a bit, because, the vampire ladies are hot. Peter Cushing is cool. He has some good lines of dialogue, like, he is there to find the vampires and clean them out, and only then will this bondage of hell be lifted from the world. Or, after being attacked by a really bad-looking bat, a really shitty-looking bat, he finds the Baroness, who's now a vampire, and, "You are not afraid of me? Only God has no fear." And he pulls out the cross, and also the music, the choir type of music that usually accompanies Peter Cushing's character, made it feel epic. Like, Peter Cushing's badass. Now, I wish he kicked more ass, but it's not an action movie. But that's it, like Peter Cushing, the cross, and the power of the cross, and the choir music, and only God has no fear. It was nice to see that. But sadly, like, Peter Cushing is the candle burning brightly I miss this darkness of a movie where there's not much there. Like, the French lady was fine, very pretty. Like I said, the bad guy, he's just not as... Nothing compared to Christopher Lee. Now, I mean, whether they could have gotten, like, another actor... I'm trying to think around 1960 who you could have gotten. I mean, Pie in the Sky, it would never happen, but if you got, like, a Vincent Price as Dracula, or if you got, like, it's not Dracula, but a vampire, like Vincent Price as a vampire, or if you got Donald Pleasance even as a vampire, wouldn't that be cool? Donald Pleasance? I mean, he was around 1960, right? Maybe be too early. No, maybe be too early. No, I think he was around. I'm just saying if you got like I don't know, an actor that had a bit more presence to him. Because anytime Peter Cushing's down the screen, there's that, again, vampire chicks are hot. I mean, all I could keep thinking about was like Peter Cushing gets bit, and then he does this thing kind of like Rambo in Rambo 3. Like when Rambo 3 got wounded and he had to heal him. Well, he gets bit, but then he like brands himself and then puts holy water on it. I'm like, there's a cure to vampirism? Why doesn't he do that for other... Why doesn't Van Helsing cure other people if he can cure himself of being a vampire? Or is that it can only work in 5 minutes? Maybe it's like a snake bite. Yeah, get the venom out quick. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, apparently there is a cure to being a vampire. You brand yourself. What did the branding do, though? I kind of wonder. Was it the branding, or was it in a cross? I'm trying to wonder what the branding did. But he put holy water on it, and then he was fine. And he throws the holy water on the bad guy's face. There were times before, like, he'll go on a rope and kick the guy. So, go into spoilers. The ending confused me a bit. I like the way he takes out the vampire. The guy stupidly hits something and starts the whole fucking windmill on fire. Peter Cushing and the teacher are steeping, and I like that Peter Cushing, he grabs the windmill and turns it so it looks like a cross, so then the big shadow of this windmill type cross pretty much fucks up the vampire and, I don't know, gives him a heart attack, however you want to put it. But what happened to the Brides of Dracula? I mean, it's called the Brides of Dracula. Yeah, I get it. Dracula wants this girl as a bride, but there's other female vampires. You're assuming you don't see Van Helsing hunt them down, stake them. He does stake the Baroness earlier in the film, but you don't get to see him really fight the Brides of Dracula. Like, when he's been bit and knocked out, the Brides of Dracula don't go and kill or suck up or drain completely dry Van Helsing. They kind of just stand there going, like, why are you just standing there? I guess they burned in the windmill, but they went up the same way as Peter Cushing and the teacher. They went the same way. And they're vampires. And it's not like when the main vampire died, then the girls went, I am dead now. Like, what happened to them? What happened to the Brides of Dracula? What happened? It's not even the Brides of Dracula, because this ain't Dracula. What happened to those women? What happened to the brides? Why don't you have Van Helsing kick their ass, stake them? What the fuck happened? What happened? Did they cut the footage? Did they not have enough time? Did they forget? Are you to assume they died off screen? These are two, like, vampire ladies. That's kind of important. I guess they died off screen, unless I missed something. And I kicked the damn thing because I was dumbfounded. Like, what happened? Michael, my friend Michael, who loves... Please explain to me, Michael. The choice voice. Please explain me. What happened to these ladies? What happened to them? Why could he have Van Helsing hunt them down and kick their ass? Or something, man. That would have been nice to see. So, I mean, overall, I wasn't big on the film. It's not a rant, because at least I can watch Peter Cushing, and he was rather good. And, like, the setting, like, the architecture, for its time, definitely has a Hammer flavor for those who enjoy those type of films. The music, like I said, the choir music, it's with Peter Cushing, in certain moments, very effective. The ending, like I said, with the windmill, that was a nice, different way to kill the vampire. I keep wanting to say Dracula, which is the title, but like the main villain just being very subpar compared to Christopher Lee. He doesn't have the presence, he doesn't have the stature, he doesn't have the intimidation. It's like the return of Herman Munster, or Eddie Munster, or whatever. Yeah, that's what it's the attack of Eddie Munster. That's what it is. He was a vampire. Yeah, I know. Just it's a stupid joke. It just wasn't that exciting. It wasn't that scary. I thought The Brides of Dracula would do more, since it's the title of the movie. The Brides of Dracula doesn't do really much of shit. I mean, why is it called The Brides of Dracula if The Brides of Dracula barely do jack all? What the fuck did The Brides of Dracula even fucking do? They didn't even die on screen. So, I mean, that's my question. Hey, if people want to explain to me, feel free in the comments. But Peter Cushing was boss, at least. Peter Cushing was cool. And that at least makes it worth a watch. Great actor. Very missed. But yeah, Christopher Lee's was missed. Or at least have another actor with a type of capacity to fulfill that type of intimidating vampire role. And like I said, the ending, I'm like, what happened to these other fucking vampires? And if they died because of this vampire, why didn't we even see that? Either they burst into flames, or they die from the windmill parts falling on them, or again, they're in pain and Van Helsing states them, and maybe even get the other girl, the teacher, she has to stake the other one. Or something, man. Or she throws holy water at this girl's face, and then, well, I keep wanting to say Peter Vincent, but Peter Cushing, I don't know. I did say it left a lot for me to. It left a lot to be desired for me. But again, I've seen much worse movies. I mean, I just got done watching Black Devil Doll from Hell, so I'll watch this 50 times over that movie again. So rest in peace, Peter Cushing. Great actor, definitely one of to be the better actors of his time. If Christopher Lee was in this, it would have been much better. It should have been Christopher Lee. Or again, it should have been like a Vincent Price or that type of... Like Vincent Price versus Peter Cushing? That'd be really cool. Or again, like... Because Vincent Price would have been around that time. Fuck, Boris Karloff! When did Boris Karloff... I mean, when was that movie he did, Target? He was doing movies at this time, right? Boris Karloff. When was Target? When was Target? 1968. Why not Boris Karloff versus Peter Cushing? That would have been cool. Boris Karloff playing a vampire versus Peter Cushing? They'd go Boris Karloff or Vincent Price versus Peter Cushing. That would have been pretty cool. Again, Boris Karloff, one of his last films was, again, Target in 1968. I think around this time he was doing stuff like that film with Jack Nicholson, with The Terror or something. Yeah, get Boris Karloff. Yeah, Vince. I mean, anyway, I'm just repeating myself. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.